Alright, you ready to do stages 1 and 2 again? Alright, welcome to the Toyota Save Mart 350, as we are green here from Sonoma. Bubba Wallace and Urbain leading the field to green. Oh, the 23 gets a little bump from the 4. But anyways, Nascar has decided to cut this race in half due to it starting late. So it's only going to be 55 laps instead of the scheduled 110. $12 laps here in stage 1. So let's talk about this 4 car. 6 wins. Is that you watching, Splashy? Oh, that must be the viewer. But anyways, this 4 car has 6 wins to start the season. And that last one, we kind of messed it up with that pit stop. That was not supposed to play out that way. At all. Because the 4 crew did, in fact, win this race 2 seasons ago. So, we had to replay the replay. I guess it is short track racing. The 4 ends up off the track. That will allow Bubba Wallace to make up some time. Whoops. Also, I think I figured out what I did wrong, Splashy. I believe I only took fuel on that pit stop, not tires. So, because the race is cut in half, we won't be having very many breaks like we normally will during races. As this 4 crew looks to build their lead. These cars are good until stage 2, and just about any pit stop should set you definitely for the end of the race, but with the race being cut in half, the cars should already be set for the end of the race. We'll see, though. Yeah, tire-wise, the cars are good. Fuel-wise, you might be able to make it as well. We'll have to see. We also could see some strategy from the teams. Fill the car up with fuel not tires this time. Just to make sure that they can make it, because you also could run out of gas too, because as the leader you burn more fuel than the cars behind you. Here's what I would do if I was this 4 crew. I would pit for fuel only about halfway through stage 2. That sound about right? Well, we do mention, though, that tire-wise, these cars are good. They're guaranteed to make it. However, fuel-wise, you know, that's where you think that they could make it. Keyword could. Because this race is cut in half. But like we said, we could see some strategy, and quite frankly, I would definitely maybe hit pit road if you're one of these leaders to have a chance in this race. You don't want to be like him, because sometimes he has certain weird strategies that don't really work that well. Here's what I think you do, though. I think you flip the stages for your strategy-wise. I think that, you know, obviously you can make it to the end of stage 1, right? You go the 12 laps we have here in stage 1, and then in stage 2, either pit halfway through it or with a few laps to go. And the reason we say that is because, you know, if you take fuel only, you might not lose that many spots, if any. And you're going to get that caution, so if you do lose a couple spots, you're there to make, you know, moves. That sound about right? Tire-wise, they are good, though, so I don't think you would want to take tires. Unless if you slide, obviously, or spin. You know, or you maybe get into the wall. You know, I don't think you would go for tires here, because that can really mess up things, clearly, as the first version of this replay did not exactly go as planned, because we changed one thing that technically did not even exist to begin with. But it wasn't even that, too. It was the amount of spin-outs that happened, too. Like, I feel like if the car wouldn't have spun out so much, it wouldn't have been that bad, because, like, you know, obviously it says that, like, we dominated this race, and it doesn't look very dominating if you do a pit stop and then you keep spinning out every corner, so, especially at a track where you know you're probably not going to get a caution. Which, I'm not going to lie, they kind of need to fix the game, because, that wreck with Chase Elliott definitely should have been a caution. I think there was another car I got into that should have been a caution. I think it was Austin Dillon I turned in the one thing, so. Yeah, but it's a video game. It's a little bit different than real life. Like, well, the reason I say it is because, like, they were blocking traffic I feel like that would definitely be a caution if traffic can't get by. Five laps to go here in stage one. The 4 crew has led them all so far. Kudos to this 4 crew. I gotta say it. You know, Urbain here got 6 wins this season. Fun fact for you, partner. This guy won a race as a rookie. This guy has had a career. He's never won here at Sonoma Raceway before. Almost did last season. Absolute heartbreaker there. Ryan Preece passed him, even though he technically cheated. And took the white flag under green, and unfortunately the caution came out. You know, the 4 crew of Urbain said that, you know, I probably should have got into the back of him and turned him around, but at the same time, it's, you know, instead chose to race him clean. You know, what do you think of that? What do you think of, like, the outcome for both scenarios would have been? Yeah, and you talk about a driver, right, looking for his first career win in Ryan Preece, while the 4 of Urbain just looking for his first career Sonoma Raceway win. You know, that was a good battle to the end there, and I think I applaud the 4 for choosing to race clean and not Dale Senioring him, you know? But this number 4 crew has had a great career so far. Got his first career win in the Daytona 500 2 seasons ago as a rookie. He's won the Clash 2 times. He won the 2020 Clash and the 2022 Clash. And we had a schedule change this season. The Clash moved from Daytona to Gateway. He won the Clash at Gateway. Then a couple weeks ago, won the very first Cup Series race at Gateway. He's looking for his first career Sonoma Raceway win today. And it looks like he's going to get it if he keeps this up. And as a rookie, not only did he win the Clash and his dual race, he won the Daytona 500. That season, he won 26 of 36 races and won his very first career Cup Series championship. He is now a 2-time Cup Series champion, looking to become a 3-time champion, and he's the very first driver, as he did win this season-opening Daytona 500 this year. He's looking to become the very first driver, or not looking to become the very first driver. He did become the very first driver to win 3 Daytona 500s in a row. Just a fun fact for you, partner. How far? Okay, we mentioned that this 4 crew is already in the playoffs. You know, this is our final points race of our coverage of the season. We got the All-Star race in Las Vegas next week. And then it's off to Twitch's coverage. How far do you think this 4 crew goes in the playoffs, and how many more races do you think he wins in the 10 races left of the regular season? And where do you think he wins at? Well, we got another Daytona race coming up. We got Michigan coming up. We got New Hampshire, all those tracks. But and what races do you think he wins in the playoffs? And how far do you think he goes? Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I could see he's definitely on. The odds are for him to win the championship this season, as we're getting ready to come to 1 to go here in stage 1. Nice. So this driver right here is looking to be better than Jimmy Johnson in his career. He's getting close to having more wins than Jimmy Johnson. And I believe he might already have more wins than Jimmy Johnson. He's looking to tie Jimmy Johnson, Dale Sr., and Richard Petty as the only drivers to win 7 championships. Maybe looking to take the lead with 8. We'll have to see how many he wins in his career as we're on the final lap of Stage 1. And if you were watching earlier, we kind of messed up in that other race, so we kind of had to restart it. Bear with us. But yeah, so right now, what he's trying to do is tie Jimmy Johnson for the most championships in a row, which is 5. If he wins this season, the championship this season, I think he has a good shot at doing that. You know, we got 2023 season coming up next season, and then we got the 2024 season coming up in 2 seasons, obviously. So I think he has a great shot to do that. Have to see. But he comes off of turn 11, and he's no stranger to stage wins here at Sonoma Raceway. He swept the stages last season in that heartbreaker, and he wins stage 1 here today. So it's Urbain, Wallace, Keselowski, Stenhouse, Briscoe, Haley, LaJoy, Byron, Gillen, and Denny Hamlin. The top 10 this stage. As here we go for stage number 2. And to mention, as we go green here, either pit halfway through this stage or with a few laps to go if you're gonna pit. As the Ford gets back into the lead here, clears Bubba Wallace. So we got 12 laps stage 1, 15 here in stage 2, and 28 to the final checkered flag in the final stage. Still a little early for our ones to watch, but do you got a couple cars you're keeping your eye on, partner? Well, how about the whole top 4 right now? In Urbain, Wallace, Keselowski, and Stenhouse. Oh, got that little wall. Hashtag you guys didn't see that. Shout out to one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, Steve the Gamer 55, because that's his famous catchphrase. Make sure you go subscribe to him. He's pretty cool. I gotta watch a Sheriff Monday Patrol again on his channel. I haven't watched one of those in a while. Alright, partner, so here's the deal. We got some news from NASCAR. But first, I want to go back to the Clash. So we mentioned that it moved from Daytona to Gateway. It was a sold-out crowd there at Gateway for both the Clash and the first Cup Series race. But forget the first Cup Series race there. How about the first Cup Series Clash there? Sold-out crowd. Everybody loved it. NASCAR hints at it returning next season. How many more seasons do you think it's going to be at Gateway? So you think 5 more seasons it's going to be at Gateway, and then NASCAR is going to decide to move on? Okay, I like that. That's pretty solid. Also, a big schedule change, or a big announcement by NASCAR. It's some sad news if you're fans of Fontana, but NASCAR has mentioned that the final race on the 2-mile configuration of the track will be next season. It will be demolished and turned into a short track. All right, partner, so here's the deal. Final race next season on the 2-mile configuration, right? So Sonoma Raceway will still have its date. We'll still have a race at Auto Club the weekend after the 500. For one final time last season. One final time for the 5-wide salute. So the schedule changes, hints at Sonoma possibly joining the West Coast swing. And it only makes sense, right? California, being close to Vegas and Phoenix. Where do you think Sonoma lands in the West Coast swing for 2024? Because obviously because Sonoma wouldn't be joining the West Coast swing until 2024. So you think it's gonna go Daytona, Vegas, Sonoma, Phoenix? Interesting. Here's what I think. I like your idea. I think it could go like that. Or it could go this way. Las Vegas, Phoenix, Sonoma. Or Sonoma, Las Vegas, Phoenix. I think that those are some good ideas. NASCAR's got plenty of time. Obviously, that's 2 seasons from now. They should have the news after Auto Club next season. But unfortunate news, for Fontana there. That they're going to lose their 2-mile track and it's going to become a short track. Hopefully, the short track will be fun. When Fontana does return to our schedule. But yeah, unfortunate news there. However, some decent news too, because right, you might not be able to go to Fontana, but you can enjoy a nice wine country race early in the season, and there might be green grass. I think, honestly, I like the option of having Sonoma the weekend after the Daytona 500. You go from the 500, which is 200 laps. You got Vegas, which is 267, so 67 laps longer than Daytona, right? And then you got Phoenix, which is 312 laps. That's about 112 laps longer than the 500. I think, you go 200 laps at 500, then you have a little cool down for a week. You do your 110-lap Toyota Save Mart 350 from Sonoma. Give the cars a little break, get some right and left action early in the season. And then after the West Coast swing in a couple weeks, you got, Coda possibly joining the schedule. Again in 2024, because it has been announced for next season. There will be a race at Circuit of the Americas for the NASCAR Cup Series next season, the very first race. And fun fact, Urbain has already announced that he has expanded his team to Formula One. And since Xfinity and Trucks will definitely have an off week that week, Urbain hints at running the Formula One race there the Saturday of the weekend of the NASCAR race there. That'll be a fun little experience. Yeah, he hints at a 2-car team, especially with you, Carson. How cool would that be? What do you think about Urbain there, from when he was your boss to this point? Yeah, Urbain says your guys are always communicating when he's off the track, and he's always inviting you to barbecues and stuff, and that you're invited to the family reunion this week. And how true is that, and how cool will that be? Definitely. You did mention about starting your own team potentially in the near future. How did Urbain take that news? Your former boss there. So is it fair to say that you guys are still pretty much close friends and stuff like that, and nothing's gonna change? I like it. I like it. About to complete 7 laps here in stage 2. And Urbain hints at possibly coming to pit road for fuel only. That's a smart decision. He hasn't really been sliding around the track. And the tires have been good on the restart, as you saw there. So I think this is a smart decision right here. Yeah. Definitely going to lose a couple positions here, though, but it's going to pay off. He might be able to run them down. We'll have to see.